We bring you the latest updates from the Pna Newsroom. The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee recommends the filing of charges against several personalities over the 2.4 billion peso laptop procurement project of the Department of Education in 2021. Marita Muahe reports.
Following the committee report of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, the Department of Education said it will consider the recommendations of lawmakers. This came after legislators released their reports on the alleged overpriced and outdated laptops procured by the DepEd.
Ang DepEd naman po has always said that we are committed to transparency and accountability. And that applies specifically also to the procurement process. So we appreciate the investigation that was conducted by the Blue Ribbon Committee.
The report shows that the 2021 DepEd laptop for teachers procurement is overpriced by at least 979 million pesos. It noted that there was a sufficient evidence of the alleged conspiracy between DepEd procurement and some PS-DBM officials. The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee then recommended the recovery of the alleged overpriced amount, which may be placed for the National Teachers Trust Fund. Anti-graft and corrupt practices, falsification of public documents, and multiple counts of perjury charges were also recommended to be filed against several current and former officials of DepEd and PS-DBM.
As to their findings and recommendations, tayo naman po sa DepEd, we will definitely consider those recommendations and findings so that we can also strengthen our internal controls in terms of procurement in DepEd.
Meanwhile, the DepEd assured the public that the current administration is keen to streamline the department's procurement processes to avoid questionable transactions.
The DepEd, led of course by no other than the Vice President Secretary of Education, really takes procurement seriously na dun po sa Department Order number 1 natin, hiniwalay na po natin yung procurement from the admin strand. Ginawa po nating isang strand ang procurement alone para po matutukan natin yung procurement process po talaga.
For the Pna Newsroom, I am Marita Muahe.
The expansion joints of the inner lane of the C5 Ortigas and C5 Pasig Boulevard flyovers will undergo repairs starting on Saturday. The Department of Public Works and Highways said the Metro Manila 1st District Engineering Office has just completed the repair works on the first lane of the southbound portions. The 3.5-meter first lane of the southbound portions of the two flyovers underwent sweeping works from December 2 last year to January 15. The same repairs would also be conducted to the 4-meter inner lane of the two flyovers to complete the rehabilitation project. The DPWH warned that heavier traffic is expected throughout the repair period. Only 3.5 meters are passable on the outer lane. Motorists with wide vehicles are advised to use service roads as alternate routes during the scheduled time of construction work from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. The repairs are expected to be completed on February 21. The Department of Health in the Ilocos region inaugurated its first walk-in cold room storage for vaccines. The cold room storage located at the Pangasinan Provincial Hospital has a capacity to store 4,920 liters of vaccines at temperatures between 2 to 8 degrees centigrade. The cold room vaccine storage was donated by UNICEF through COVAX support for the specific needs of COVID-19 vaccines. It will also be used to store vials for routine immunizations such as polio, measles, and tuberculosis. That's the latest and the biggest stories from the Pna Newsroom. For more news content, visit our webpage or head on to the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. We're also shown on the pages of the Presidential Communications Office and Radyo Pilipinas RP1. I'm Stephanie Civiliano. We tell stories that inspire change.